So this is a great statement question. Now explain how the Big Bang Theory led to mankind and how order came from disorder of the cosmic explosion. Is that feelings over fact? Okay, great. So first let me start by ancient writings. Pretty much every ancient writing, if you want to look for it in the Bible, you're more than likely going to have to find an older Bible. But I remember when I was a kid and I would read the Bibles that we had back in the 1970s and 80s. They said in the beginning, it said something to the effect that in the beginning the world, the earth was in chaos, and then God hovered over the waters and breathed and then spoke, "Let there be light," and that was the beginning of creating order. When you look at the Kemetic story, when it talks about the Ogdoad, at first everything was in chaos, and then the Ogdoad brought order, and then Ra was the physical embodiment of the Ogdoad. Whether we're talking about any ancient civilization, the overwhelming majority of them talked about how the universe, the earth, was in chaos before whatever deity they call God brought order to it. How does that work scientifically? Scientifically, we would see from our perspective what's called the Big Bang Theory, but it's really the singularity, as being chaotic, which means that there's the big crunch, then there's the big expansion. Big crunch, then the big expansion. A repeated cycle that has gone on for eternity, which is why the singularity is eternal, in the same instance that people would say God is eternal. But out of this, the laws of nature have never not been in place. Even in the chaos, what we would think is chaos, there is the law of nature in effect, which is balanced. A thunderstorm happens, it strikes the dry grassy area or dry wooded area, and then it's fire. It burns. Everything seems chaotic. But out of that chaos comes new life, new vegetation, new plants. Animals come back. Order is then restored as to what we call order. But nothing is ever out of order. Chaos is something that man perceives because things are not going the way we want them to go. So out of that explosion, that expansion, that contraction, that expansion, that contraction, life will develop as the expansion is occurring, because the laws of nature are in place, because animals will adapt. Life will always find a way to exist. And I know life finds a way is kind of an excuse that people like to use from the Jurassic Park movie, but that is how it works. Everything in the universe is recyclable and continues to recycle. In the next video, I'm going to talk about reincarnation in that same effect, because somebody asked a question and I can't find the answer. I can't find the question.